the National Council of Persons with Disability has a kitty meant to help alleviate the pain and suffering of persons with disabilities and their caregivers. That kitty, during this year's budget, received 400 million shillings to go to persons living with disabilities. A further 1.1 billion shillings was dedicated to cash transfer programs for persons with severe disability. According to the Persons with Disability Act of 2003, persons with severe disability are categorized as those who need permanent care, including feeding, toiletry, protection from danger, and whose full-time care and support has to be offered by a caregiver to ensure their needs are attended to. These include people with Down syndrome, cerebral palsy, and severe polio, among others. Dennis Nyariki, a service officer at the National Council of Persons with Disability, reveals that most of their funding caters for recurrent expenditure, with the remainder of the funds channeled towards improving the living standards of children with disability.
I haven't heard you mention anything about infrastructure development or infrastructure improvement for those who live in informal settlement areas.
We angle our infrastructure towards education, improving the environment, education environment, not per se the environment in the informal settlements.
According to the council's website, 44.8 million shillings was spent in improving what Dennis calls the education environment through building school dormitories and classrooms that are friendly to persons with disabilities and sourcing for assistive education devices like the Braille and special needs textbooks. But the council says the funds aren't enough.
We receive so little resources to enable us to go to that area of informal settlements.
They should not get more money because even the money they get, they're not able to embrace persons with disabilities on board.
At Parliament, both senators and members of Parliament are breathing fire down the neck of the council, insisting it does not do enough to help out persons with disabilities.
We have had this National Council doing a lot of disservice to people with disability. And they don't really understand issues affecting persons with disability. Even when you go there and explain something, it's like you are just wasting your time.
I will tell you the truth, and I will tell you for free, even if the CEO of National Council is here, that when it comes to funding on issues of PWD's activities, the National Council highly discriminates.
The council's key project is the cash transfer program, which was piloted in 2010 with 10 households per constituency and later scaled up to 70 households per constituency in 2012. The program is meant to help boost households where parents or guardians don't have enough time to engage in any economic activity, either due to a disability or because they are caring for a child with a disability. Those with severe disability are meant to receive a paltry 2,000 shillings per month. It's funds that caregivers like Millicent Akinyi should be getting but aren't.
Kama sasa saizi umetoka Isili. Umefanikiwa, umepata chochote leo pato la siku?
Nimepata tu 50 bob tu. Sasa 50 bob unajua hawezi tosa kitu.
Tangu asubuhi.
Tangu asubuhi.
Waliniambia mimi I'm not disabled because I'm doing some businesses. Na walikuwa nawaitisha hogo hata niseme wale walikuwa wanapeana 1500 ile waandike.
Hiyo pesa nilikuwa napata. Sasa ikianza last year nimepata pesa mwezi wa 4, hiyo ya mwisho last year.
Because of her disability, Pamela is unable to get to the council center to register afresh, and now she's been left to fend for herself. But nominated Senator Gertrude Musuruve and Westlands Member of Parliament Tim Wanyonyi believe that the council is to blame for the situation in the slums.
They appoint people who have no idea about disability, and they go there, they are doing, it's just a job for them. But us, we would like people who want to serve and who have to understand the issues. Because when people with disability come there for service, they look at them like they are bothering them.
It is unfortunate because I know there are members of parliament who have even gone to the National Council and then they've been given 15 wheelchairs to distribute unconditionally. But me who is representing persons with disabilities, me who is their voice, it becomes questionable. Why should it happen that way?
16 years ago, Parliament passed the Persons with Disability Act, which created the National Council of Persons with Disability and was to provide a platform for the formulation of a national policy for such people. This policy was to include improvement of the access in slum areas, but to this date, it is yet to be completed.
And this I experienced myself when I was campaigning for the first time. I went to slum area and some areas to access you have to be literally carried. You are carried, you must have people who will carry you up and down.
As a legislator, I would pose this question then to you. What are you doing to help alleviate their problem and their pain?
One of the policies that would help in alleviating their suffering is probably the housing issue that the president talked about.
Hannah Kamene knows too well the danger of living in a house that is not friendly to her visual impairment.
Nikifua nguo wakati wa kuanika zile manguo kupitia kwa zile waya zinawekwa za stima ni ile life wire. Ile happened nikaanika nguo kwa hiyo ni nini nikapigwa na hiyo stima na nikaanguka na nikapoteza fahamu.
This year, the government has set aside 1 billion shillings for the construction of social housing units, but there is no clear communication if persons with disabilities will indeed be given priority when the houses are completed. Before we left Kibra, I met up with Mary Mbatha, who often has to navigate the slum's ruthless terrain to earn a living.
Haki mimi kutoka nijipate hivi nimelia sana. Nimelia sana mpaka nikaona sifai. Hata ilifika wakati nilikuwa napitia hiyo maisha. Nikaona sikuwa na mtu yoyote. Nikakaa chini nikaona sasa mimi sifai. Nikoroke sumu nikunywe mara moja nipumzike. Nikaona hapana. Nikawacha. Kwa nini? Unadhulumiwa. Majirani wenyewe hawakuelewi. Hiyo wakati sikuwa naeleweka na mtu yote.
Her many trips to the National Council of Persons with Disability offices to get capital to kickstart her fruit and sweet vending venture has borne no fruit. She's told she needs to be in a group in order to get funding. She now lives in this dingy one-roomed house within the region's largest slum.
Lakini yenyewe si mzuri juu inanyesha. Kukinyesha sana inaingisha maji. The second thing, your toilet inanuka. So mimi Mary nikaona si vyema kuishi mahali kama hapa because it's dangerous for me. Because hiyo harufu nyuma yake kuna ingine. So natafuta namna pia niweze kutoka hapa niende niishi mahali pasafi. Mahali naweza fanyia kazi kama itawezekana ili niendelee na maisha yangu.
It is important that we sensitize people about the needs of persons with disabilities and their rights, that they also have rights that must be respected.
Last year, Kenya, alongside the United Kingdom, co-hosted the first ever Global Disability Summit, where the country promised to honor a pledge to make life much more easier for persons with disabilities.
We are going to work out on a master plan in terms of assembling all the stakeholders that participated here and the stakeholders, the various organizations operating in our country, come together and come up with a plan of action with a view of meeting certain timelines.
In all that, the government is committing itself to be able to support the person with disability and ensure that the person with disability has their rights respected and their dignity respected too.
Government has very good policies. In order, of course, they are written somewhere, both in health and even education-wise, they are there. But you see, the main challenge there is the implementation of those policies.
But where government is failing persons with disabilities, such community-based groups are stepping in. Richard Ongongo leads the Kibera Usalama Disabled Group, which provides both social and financial support to persons with disabilities and their caregivers. This is one of the weekly table banking meetings they hold to give cash incentives to those who need it the most.
Kuna wale wenzetu ambao wanajikokota, hawana hata hizi wheelchair. So akikanyaga na kanyaga mahali ambapo ni pahali pabaya, so anaweza shikwa na magonjwa. So tunaomba nyumba inapojengwa pia sisi watukumbuke sisi ni binadamu. Sio kupenda kwetu tukawa katika hali hiyo tulivyo.
Sasa kama mzazi nimewacha hii maneno ya kujitenga. Juu unaenda unapata wazazi wengine wako na watoto, wengine hata ni wambaya kushinda huyo wako. Unaona wewe uyuko peke yako.
Matters involving persons with disabilities indeed cannot be lumped on one individual or state agency. It's an issue that requires concerted efforts, but there has to be a starting point, and those tasked with championing and agitating for the rights of persons with disabilities have to be asked the tough questions.
Why is there an oversight when it comes to infrastructure in informal settlement areas?
I think the main reason could be maybe because of resources. We receive so little resources to enable us to go to that area of informal settlement.
Where is the loophole?
I think it's just attitude. People have very negative attitude about disability.
Even those people who are in the offices heading PWD, organizations, they should be PWDs themselves. Even the CEO should be a PWD. And that is why issues of disabilities, people are not sensitive to issues of disability because they don't know where it pinches most. The people who are there, they don't have disabilities. So when it comes to allocating, you want PWD issues to be addressed, they're not addressed.
If you look at this place, the way it is congested, the way the topography is, it's very difficult for someone who has difficulties to walk in walking through this, or someone who cannot see.
Kuna mahali nilikuwa naenda kufanya interview uko Olympic. Na nilikuwa nimepitia mahali mbali na barabara. Mtu alikuja na gari akavunja crutches. Akanigonga, akavunja crutches, nikaanguka chini. Nilipoanguka pale damu ilikuwa inatoka kwa mkono. Mimi mwenyewe sisikii. Alivunja na akaniambia nikitaka kumpeleka popote, nimpeleke niende niseme ni amenigonga.
Moto ikitokea sio kila mtu atakukumbuka. Kwa hivyo wewe ni ungangane hata kama utaenda na tumbo mahali utaweza kuitia mtu. Juu kila mtu ana rush akoe vitu zake. Sinaona. Kwa hivyo inakuwa gumu sana kwako.
Zingine nakosa hata ya hizo scratches zinasumbukanga sana nikizidu. Labda niuze kitu kwa nyumba ndio nipate hizo scratches. Ndio saa zingine nenda Kijabe ama saa zingine nenda hapa niko Itongara. Hapo hivyo ndio naendanga na zibai. Saa zingine sipatangi do, saa zingine nakopa, nashindwa sasa nakopea mtoi wangu na muulizaji sasa tutafanya nini na una. Tunaitengeneza zimevunjika zikavunjika.
Kwanza vitu kama hizi mobility aid, if I can't afford them, I can't move. Even the hooker, most of the times when I can't afford them, so affording them inafanya na sacrifice a lot. So if at least wakamake hizi vitu cheaper, or even kama wanaweza supply for free, that is if inawezekana wa supply for free.
Sababu utaenda upate ile choo imejengwa ya mtu hebo, lakini mlemavu hawezi kujisaidia pale. And I'm very sad because tunashinda kuongea asubuhi na mchana, lakini tuonangi kitu inafanyika. Kwa sababu ukiona hizi manyumba sisi tunaishi sio friendly to us. Machoo yenye tunatumia huko sio friendly to us. Kwa sababu utaenda upate ile choo imejengwa ya mtu hebo, lakini mlemavu hawezi kujisaidia pale.
Mpaka saa ingine natamani hata nimuue, nifanye nini. Ndio sasa naona kasida na yeye sasa watu nasema kama umeua usiue mtoto. Hiyo sasa laana itarudi tu kwako. Sasa nasema sasa mimi saa ingine nafikiria mpaka nalia mpaka nashindwa kata. Nitaanza na wapi?